Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Tsehai, Almaz, here with Fire in the Desert Ministries. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. We have a treat for you. And first, I want to start off by saying, Saints, we have heard this so many times before, but it is real. It's really happening before our eyes. It is time to cry loud and spare not. Let me repeat that. It is time to cry loud and spare not. So what I have for you on this evening are some clips, some news clips that have happened over the past week that I think are rather, eye-opening and brow-raising. And we're just going to go through some of the things that are happening. And things are happening around us all the time, and our Bible tells us to watch and pray. And if we're not watching, we really don't know what to pray for. Our spirit intercedes for us and intervenes and with groanings to help us in our prayer. But my friend, it is time to watch and pray on today. So what the biggest event that happened over this past week, as many of you know, is the Super Bowl 56. So that was a big event for the world. Here, certainly in Southern California, in Inglewood, there was a big event. The traffic was crazier than usual, but it was a very good economic impact on the community. So that's pretty good. And we've seen the Hollywood sign turn into the Rams house. You know, that doesn't happen every day. So it was a monumental event on so many levels. The world's eyes were on Southern California once again, and the Rams did pull out with a win, which is why we have the Rams house instead of Hollywood. For me, it's a refreshing change. But I want you to look at some of the pictures that were taken during the event, and I want to see if you notice something. That's another one. Awesome. Wow, look at this. No social distancing, huh? Look at there. Having a great time. Amazing. Okay. Well, so we can see that pretty much no one was wearing masks and social distancing. What's that? No one was 6 feet apart, and wow. So we're, this is what you call commitment right here. I definitely wanted to get to this picture. This person is what you call super committed. Okay, this is what the world calls having fun. This is what the world does, right? Business as usual is what the world is doing, right? And the mouths are open, no masks are on. I think this woman in the back is pretty much the only person I saw with a mask on. And so what is my point? What am I saying? I'm saying that, a lot of money was made for the Super Bowl. I think, there were 70,000 people, roughly 70,000 people in attendance, and even if they only charged 50,000 people, some of those seats were given away free. It's a new stadium, and friends, in the government, in politics, and free tickets, some were given. So let's say they wanted certain people there to kind of help make the event more lively, and they only charged 50,000 people. The tickets were 7,000. Some were twice that, but the average ticket was going for about $7,000. So let's say we even only charged 50,000 people $7,000. That's like still $350 million. So numbers that just don't fly around in my bank account every day. So that a lot of money was made at this event. And so I guess we saw the mayor without a mask, we saw the governor without a mask, and obviously many of the people who attended, they were there without a mask. And so there was no complaint there, right? Really, there was no complaint. And the other thing that I mentioned the last time that we were together was that the Satanist Convention was together, and that was another 50,000 people strong in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm going somewhere, just stay with me. So that's 50,000 people who gathered together for a Satanist convention. in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we have the Super Bowl, where there was no social distancing practice. Mouths are open, no mask inside, whether you're vaccinated or not. No social distancing practice. And then what do we have? Literally, maybe 72 hours later, we now have California leading the way. Yeah, he definitely had a good time. We have California now leading the way, and what's not being called a pandemic anymore, but being called the endemic. All of a sudden, we're in an endemic after almost, $350 million are made 16 hours ago. It's not even a day old. 23 hours ago, California releases plan for new phase of COVID-19. California unveils plan to become first state to treat, the beginning of what they're calling not the pandemic, but the endemic. So that's something noteworthy. And it happens all after we see everybody having such a great time at the Super Bowl. Friends, I want you to wake up. Friends, I want you to be able to put two and two together. I want you to be able to see things for what they really, really are. So as long as, you're paying $7,000 and it doesn't have to do anything with your religion now. Now, if it's the religion of Satan. So we really know what's going on in the world right now. I really need you to wake up. I really need you to read between the lines. I'm not going to spell everything out for you. But you know what? If your church is closed, my friend, your mouth should be open. I'm going to say that one more time. If your church doors are closed, your mouth should be open. There is one thing I do want to bring out about the Satanist Convention that took place in Scottsdale, Arizona. The Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, said that they did not condone people going out to protest the convention. And this is a quote from Bishop Thomas Olmsted, asked that instead of taking part in public demonstrations or protests, Catholics unite in spiritual warfare by praying, fasting, taking sacraments, which includes taking communion. Now, you know what? I am not really a follower of the Roman Catholic religion denomination, or really any denomination right now, because I really believe worshiping in spirit and truth is something deeper than just attending a church service on Sunday. But I will say that in this instance, this particular bishop is spot on with where the church should be. Spot on with where the church should be right now, and that is in spiritual warfare. This is a battle of good and evil. So if it's okay and there's no opposition to go and worship at a Satanist convention, hear me now, a congregation, they call it a congregation of Satanists and supporters of Satanists, right? This is out and out Satan. This is not masked in any way. This is not disguised in any way. This was held this past weekend, February 11th to the 13th, in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we have the Super Bowl, 70,000 people, coming together, and we see them having fun. They're shouting, they're dancing, they're reveling, having such a great time. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with having a great time. Let me start there. It's nothing wrong with having a great time. But my friend, when we take it to the point of idolatry, anything that you spend more time with than with your Bible is idolatry. Anything you spend more time with, more money with, more energy with than with, praying, spending more time than your time with God, that becomes an idol, my friend. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to let no pagan practitioner or hell-bound heathen, I'm not going to let them out-praise me. I'm not going to let them out-worship me. I'm not going to let them out-serve me. They're serving death, my friend, harder than some of the saints are serving life. I'm going to say that one more time. The world is serving death, right? The wages of sin is death. They are serving death a lot stronger than many saints are serving life. What do I mean by that? So, my friend, at this point in the game, we should not be ignorant of the fact that many churches have closed their doors. Many churches have shut down, not to reopen again. Many of them, I'm going to say, maybe shouldn't have been open in the first place. Because the bishop had it right. This is spiritual warfare. This is what spiritual warfare looks like. This is what it's like. We can see the world having business as usual, right? No mask in sight, no mandate in sight, no consequences in sight, no fines in sight, no shutdown of the electricity, the other resources to that event. We're all there. We're all in place. The entertainment was all in place, right? But for those who want to attend church on a regular basis, oh, well, the numbers have to be here, and oh, well, this is what the church was told, my friend. The numbers can't be more than 10, and you really shouldn't sing because it's going to cause this, and you really shouldn't do that because it's going to cause that. And I mean, where is the tenacity and the determination of the saints is what I really want to say. Because I just would not let the world shame me into not worshiping my God. I'm not going to let the world outdo me. Again, I'm not going to let the pagan out-worship me. I'm not going to let the rocks cry out for me. I am certainly not going to let the heathen cry out for me. So, my friend, it is time to look at everything that's taking place. And even as we see these things happening, judgment is still at the door. My friend, judgment is still at the door. The fires have really never left California. Let's be clear about that. I'm even going to show you one, even before we get the ones on the screen here. I'm going to show you one that I saw coming on the expressway into the studio this evening. There was one right on the embankment of the expressway. And maybe you can see just a little bit of this. Probably not super clear, but we press play. Yep, fires. So this is the fire of me along the expressway. Yep, coming in here. That little dot up there. Yep, that's a fire. Just on the freeway. Everybody's business as usual. Freeway. Freeway coming in here tonight. Fire. So California is on fire. I don't know why the news is not talking about it. This is another fire. Fire. You know what? The news said tonight that it's not a fire season in California anymore. It's looking like a fire year. I want you to think about that for a moment. He said that it's not fire season. It's looking like a fire year. Right, friend? Because fire season was usually, a little sometime in the summertime, right? When it gets super hot and the brush fire and it's really dry. And, it's also being said that in California there's a super drought. Okay? We had maybe a few inches, 10 inches last year. Holiday season, some days of rain. But that can't make up for years of not having enough. And what else is on fire? Our cargo ships of hundreds of Porsches and Bentleys burning adrift at sea. So what else is burning, my friend? Our prosperity. The prosperity in America. These are all symbolic. There are no coincidence or accidents. The prosperity in America is dwindling. It's shrinking. Those signs of wealth that people cherish, those things are shrinking as well. Because, my friend, the wages of sin is death. So even as, the Super Bowl is going on, people are having a lot of fun and eating and drinking, and the Satanist conventions are going on, and Lord knows how many other things are going on. The strip clubs are still open, the bars are still open, all of these places are open, but too many of our churches are closed. And I'm going to say it one more time, friend. If your church is closed, your mouth should be open. Don't let the rocks cry out for you. Don't let the heathens cry out instead of you. Don't let the pagans cry out instead of you in this hour. So there was one other thing besides, the sign of our wealth is being deteriorated. Our wealth is symbols of our wealth. The Bentley is like the highest car you could perhaps get, one of the highest cars. I'm sure there are other cars, but the Porsche, those are certainly cars of a certain status symbol, right? They represent a certain status. But we also have, our money is funny. Our money is very funny. Look at here. The Great Resignation is also the Great Retirement of the baby boomers. That's a problem. So the news is already letting you know there's so many people retiring. Now is not the time to be unemployed. Now is not the time for people to be walking off their jobs, because something is not going to add up really, really fast here. So if everybody is either on retirement or unemployment, how long is it going to be before the well runs dry, my friend? So the signs are all around us. Churches are closed. Pagans are doing their thing. Heathens are doing their thing. And, we're the saints. And so I think it's high time to listen to what the bishop said. The Catholic bishop said, now is a time for spiritual warfare. My friend, now is the time to get on Straight Street. Now is the time to come out of the world. The signs are all around us. I mean, there's so many little fires and fires here and there in California that they don't really even cause alarm anymore. There was a big fire in a major toy factory, I think downtown LA in the Toy District, one of the historic toy houses, on fire. It's been around for, close to like a century, several generations of a family. Their business just went up in flames. And so, again, me coming to the studio this evening, there's fire on the embankment on the side of the road as you're coming in. So, judgment is here. It's not just at the door. It's stepping into the door. And, it's going to catch some people unawares. That's so unfortunate that it's going to catch some people unawares. But, my friend, I hope that's not going to be you. I hope that's not going to be you. I am encouraging everyone under the sound of my voice to take heed to the signs and wonders and things that are taking place around you. It's not just California. Certainly, it's the world. But, there are so many things going on in California. And now that California is leading the way to the endemic, consequently, after the Super Bowl, after we see 70,000 people in the arena shouting and screaming and, reveling, for there we go. That's it. And not just in the Super Bowl. This is like a tailgate party at someplace outside of the Super Bowl. So many people were enjoying this event. There you go. There you go. That's what you call idolatry. Super committed. Super committed. Oh, there you go. No social distancing. Mouths open. They're happy. They're serving their gods. But my friend, are you serving yours? That's my question to you today. Are you serving your God? Are you praising your God? Are you lifting up your God? Are you magnifying your God? Right? I will bless the name of the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. My friend, that is the testimony. That should be the testimony of every saint. That should be the testimony of every saint. So as wide as their mouths are for their sports team, mind you, their sports team is not able to get them out of a hospital when they're sick. Their sports team is not going to give them health or wealth. As in fact, their sports team takes wealth from them at $7,000 a pop for a ticket, or even the tailgate parties. I'm sure those parties cost as much as well. Okay, mind you, the gods and idols that the world is following, what kind of benefit is the world going to really reap from those idols and from those gods? But the saints have access to the Most High God, the God of the Bible, the God that, one day every knee shall bow and every tongue confess, right? Saints have access to this God. My friend, use your access to the Most High God through Jesus Christ to lift up your voice, to open your mouth loud, Cry loud and spare not. That is the season that we're in, folks. That is the season that we're in. You know what? And the first people that are going to go into the hot place are the fearful and the unbelieving. So, my friend, I don't want that to be you today. I don't want you to be fearful of anything. You see, the heathen claims their territory. The heathen and, the idolater, the sinful, they claim their territory. If it's the sports arena, the bars, the clubs, the restaurants, wherever it is, even the Satanists, they claim their territory. My friend saint, I'm talking to you today. Claim your territory in the Lord. You know what? My Bible tells me that he that dwelleth in a secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And further down it says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at their right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Do you believe it today? Do you stand in it today? If you stand in it and you believe in it, my friend, don't be afraid to proclaim it. Don't be afraid to cry loud and spare not. Don't be afraid to say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. So the world is having business as usual. And we know that they didn't stop during the pandemic. They may have slowed down, but they didn't stop completely. And there was a line being drawn in the sand. If you do this, you can have access to this. Or if you do that, you can have access to certain other things. You know what I'm talking about. I'm encouraging you, friend, to make a decision that no matter what, you're going to praise the Most High God, that you're going to love the Most High God, you're going to believe Him, and you're going to trust no matter what it looks like. You're going to claim your territory. You're going to stand in faith, my friend. You're going to stand in faith that the Most High God is going to prevail. I mean, judgment is at the door. Here in California, you know what? I don't claim to know the day or the hour, but it's not looking good. Fires are over here. Fires are over there. Some of them are deliberately started. Some of them started by nature. Judgment is at the door. I think one of the pictures, there we go. That's one of the pictures of fire that we have. And then that's another one. The brush fires raging all year long now. Not just fire season. On the news today before coming into the studio, they're saying it's a fire year, my friend. And I showed you on my phone just coming into the studio tonight. So there are fires, little fires all around, too many to count, too many to put on the news. Maybe it's not that significant to put on the news, but my friend, our Bible tells us to watch and pray. And I'm encouraging you to do that today. There's no accident that these fires keep coming up. There's no accident that they're at the side of the road. Many people going along business as usual are going to get caught up in a snare. Our economy is funny. I think even one of the other news reports for today is that Russia said, you know what, they didn't care about the sanctions. They're planning to invade anyway. And the first thing that came out is that the gas prices, I know here in California, could easily jump to $7 a gallon. If Russia invades the Ukraine, that's somehow going to affect our gas prices. Friends, make it make sense. Make it make sense to me, because something happened over there that we really, that looks like the sanctions are on us. We're telling Russia that they have sanctions, but looks like the sanctions are going to be on us once they cross over. $7 a gallon. What does our gas prices have to do with Russia invading Ukraine? Why don't we let them mind their business and we mind our business? How about that? No, that's not what's going to be happening next. Doesn't look like it. My friend, the money is funny. Our economy is funny. Our symbols of wealth and prosperity are burning at sea. They're already burning at sea. So I encourage you, my friend, to make a decision today. Make a decision that, you know what, the world has business as usual. So should the church. The business of the church is holiness. Now is the time for holiness. Now is the time for really making sure that you're in right standing with God. Really making sure that you are putting God first in your life, my friend. Now is the time. You know, the world is going to have business as usual. We see that they lift up their idols. We see that they lift up, their worship, their heathen and pagan worship. They lift it up. So it's time for the church to lift up the Most High in praise. It's time for the church to lift up Jesus, the standard that Jesus set before us. It's time to lift him up. And if your church is closed, my friend, your mouth should be open. Your mouth should be open to praise his holy name, to put his word in your mouth and proclaim it. Don't be afraid. Now is the time for spiritual warfare. Just like the Catholic bishop said, it is time for spiritual warfare. It is time for us to claim our territory, stand in our territory, and beat the devil back. We know that the world is his. The world, the material world is his. But his time is short, my friend. So don't get caught up in the deception. Don't get caught up in the deception. All the laughter and joy and partying and reveling today will be tears and weeping and gnashing of teeth tomorrow. That's not me, my friend. That's what your Bible says. That's what your Bible says, because as all of these events are going on, we see that the fires are raging outside of the city, but the fires are raging. And even in the city, on the side of the road, there are fires. Downtown in the city, there are fires. My friends, the signs are all around us. So I encourage you today to lift up your voice and don't let the hell-bound heathen or the pagan practitioner out-worship you, out-praise you. They've claimed their territory. It's time for you to claim yours. Thank you so much for being with us on today. Fire in the Desert Ministries. We'll see you on the next time.